Then get this. The total amount of Hedron burned as of today will be approximately 6. What's up and welcome back to Cryptographics. Today, we're going over one hell of a video where we're going to dive into the ramifications for days 90 to 91 to about 95 after these HSIs have been sold to the Icosa smart contract, and figure out exactly what could be potentially burned in Hedron, and then look at also what the yield might be for both Icosa and Hedron into those different pools. Let's get into it. So the Icosa staking platform launched on August 14th, allowing users to mint and stake Icosa, stake Hedron that they minted for free from Hex Stakes or bought, and mint a We Are All the Source Address NFT over a 14-day mint phase that is still ongoing. All these pools get the same amount of Icosa per day based on the share of the pool they have, but the Icosa staking pool also gets Hedron as additional yield. Since launching, approximately 3,510 HSIs and counting have been sold to the Icosa smart contract to mint Icosa. All these HSIs were advanced against by the smart contract and will begin being liquidated on day 90, which means you and I will have the opportunity to bid on these stakes and buy them using Hedron tokens. Before we go any further though, I want to remind you of the ways that both Hedron and Icosa enter staking pools as yield, so you following me when we go later on in the video. Icosa is generated as yield through the amount of Hedron burned in that previous day divided by the Hex T-share rate, and then that number is divided by 10. Each pool gets this number of Icosa sent to it. Another way Icosa is sent to the pools is through early end stake penalties. Now, Hedron yield, which is unique to only the Icosa staking pool, is calculated as 50% of the Hedron burned in the previous day. Now, early end stake penalties also contribute to this yield as well. Before a more in-depth analysis on all of this, watch my series Hedron the Sleeping Giant. Now that we're on the same page in regards to the yield, it's time we talk about day 91, potentially one of the biggest days for yield that we could ever see on the Icosa staking platform. Now, like I previously mentioned, there will be approximately 3,510 HSIs that will go up for auction on and after day 91 post Icosa launch. Currently, the amount of Hedron it takes to make the minimum bid on a 5555 HSI in auction is around 34 to 35 times less than the price of the actual Hex stake itself. This has staggering implications for the yield on day 91. I'll do a video on how to bid on one of these HSIs soon, but for now, we're going to continue on with the video because I want to stick to this one topic here. With 3,510 and counting auctions happening that can be purchased for less than what the stake is worth, all while spending 30 plus times more Hedron than is needed, we could see a staggering amount of Hedron burned on these days. Now, the minimum starting bid for a 137 B share HSI is 794,428 Hedron tokens. But the actual number of tokens it would take to equal the same value as the HSI is 27.311 million tokens. Yes, that means 0.137 of a T-share could burn as much as 27 million Hedron before it no longer makes sense to bid. And this is all based on August 18th prices for both Hedron and Hex, but this number will fluctuate as prices move closer or further away from each other relative to one another. Now, here's where things get absolutely crazy though. The amount of large HSIs staked for 15 years during days 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Icosa was staggering. Of the HSIs sent to the smart contract, there are 31,160 T-shares staked for 5555 alone. Based on all the HSIs sent to the Icosa smart contract as of 10:07 PM on August 18th, the minimum amount of Hedron that will be burned approximately is 174.883 billion Hedron tokens. That's only to cover the minimum bid. This number will only be valid if the HSIs are bought for their starting minimum bid price. The problem here is that 174.883 billion Hedron is 35 times less than the value of all the Hex stakes as of the time of writing. If bidders pay in Hedron the equal dollar amount to what each HSI is worth, then get this. The total amount of Hedron burned as of today will be approximately 6.115589 trillion tokens. Now, This maximum amount will fluctuate and be different on November 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th, because those are the days when the auctions are going to start, or the auctions will be completed, I should say, based on the spread in price between Hedron and Hex. If Hedron goes down in value relative to Hex's price, the maximum amount of Hedron to be burned would go up. Again, this is based on the point where the amount of Hedron burned is equal to the cost of the stake. If the Hedron price increases relative to the Hex price, then the maximum amount of Hedron tokens that would be burned would be less than 6.15589 trillion, assuming users won't bid more than the value of the HSI. If the Hedron price increases relative to the Hex price, then the maximum amount of Hedron tokens that would be burned would be less than the 6.11 trillion, assuming users won't bid more than the value of the HSI. But what we cannot account for is Hedron holders with enormous amounts bidding more Hedron than the stake is worth. If whales and sharks, the two largest token holder tiers, decide to do this, then we could see even more than whatever the maximum point is. This is speculative, not for sure. We don't know whether this could happen, but it's a possibility. Now, if the minimum threshold is hit only, approximately 753,956 Icosa will be sent to each pool as yield. That means the Icosa pool, the Hedron pool, and the WAATSA pool. And 85 billion Hedron tokens will be sent to the Icosa pool as yield. If the maximum is hit as of the time of writing, again, as of today, not in the future, this will change. As of the time of writing, 26,539,285 Icosa would be sent to each pool as yield, and approximately 3.77 trillion Hedron would be sent to the Icosa pool as yield. That's 26.5 million Icosa going to the Hedron pool, the Icosa pool, and the WAATSA pool, and then 3.77 trillion in Hedron going to the Icosa pool. Currently, there's a little more than 41,000 Icosa entering the pools daily, which is giving the yield we currently see in the pool. So if you're seeing that yield, do some math in your head and you might be able to figure out just how crazy this could be. Now, what I'm not trying to tell you is exactly how much the yield will be on days 91 through 95. This is purely speculative and just for fun. But what I am trying to tell you is that it will be significant in comparison to any day up to that point and possibly afterwards. Do your own research before making any decisions, because this is not financial advice. But I needed to share this with you so that if you do agree with my analysis and you do your own research to come to that conclusion, you will be able to reap the rewards too if it is correct. This is simply what the data is pointing towards. This just might be a big payday event for Icosa platform stakers. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're as excited as I am for days 91 to 95 and onward with the Icosa platform. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel and you want to learn about this one-on-one with me, go to cryptographics.com and you can book a one-on-one call where I can make you understand the Icosa staking platform exactly as I do. If you also want to support the channel, you can purchase some merch on cryptographics.com. You can donate to the link below, and you can also join the YouTube memberships. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well for more content like this. I'm trying to make more content regularly, so if you're enjoying this, make sure you are subscribed and even share it out to let more people know of this opportunity here. And finally, guys, there are scammers in the comments, and there's actually one that even has my name, but it's not highlighted, so be careful. If it doesn't have my highlighted cryptographics name bar, it's not me and I'm not speaking to you. Don't listen to anyone that doesn't have that. I'm never going to ask you to do a WhatsApp or anywhere else. If you have questions, go to cryptographics.com and send me an email there, or just comment below and I'll answer your question or direct you to whatever sites you need to go in order to have your question answered. So again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.